Oh, and a dog's barking right now. I knew that's going to happen. Okay, good morning. How is everybody? So good to see all you guys. Thank you so much for making time this Saturday morning to be here. Can you hear my dog and like my husband yelling at my dog?
Can't hear him, but we can hear your dog.
Okay, good. So this won't be very long, but this is a call that I have been dreaming about and getting excited about for a while. And I've told a few of you, but I woke up like August 1st in the morning at 4:50 in the morning, and I couldn't go back to sleep because I just had this feeling deep in my gut that now is our time. Like now is it. And I like have been shaking, giddy excited, just knowing that it's time. And it's not that it's time for me. I just know that it's time for you guys. And it's time for me to grow my vision because you guys are all here and you guys all represent people and it's their time too. And so I just want to begin by just saying thank you for being here. Thank you hi, Abby. Thank you for saying yes to this business, saying yes to this opportunity. And thank you for locking arms with me and doing this. And I am just like, I'm honored and I am humbled and I am so excited about the vision and the future that has space for us and then thousands and thousands of more. So thank you for being here. I love you all so much. And I want to start out, I'm going to start the call and then Missy's going to take it over. But I just want to let you guys know, I want to announce the name of our region. So if you don't know, when you promote to region, you get to name it. And it's something that I took really seriously and I prayed on it and I thought on it and I read on it and took a lot of time to kind of wait for the right one to hit me. And so I'm excited to announce that the name of our region is going to be Set Free Region. And that gives me the chills because I want us to be a region and then a nation on a mission to set people free. And this idea of setting free is a broad one because I see it as setting people free from the 9 to 5, setting people free from financial struggle, setting people free from the opinions of others. I know that's something that a lot of us have grown in this business is we used to care a lot about what people think. And now that we message strangers out of nowhere, we sure enough just don't care as much what people think about us. So we're setting people free. There it is. Yep. We're setting people free from that. We're setting people free from a limiting mindset of thinking small. We're setting people free from shame. I think that's a huge one. And we're setting people free so that they can be all that they were made to be. And I think that list can just go on and on. And then I just have broader visions of, the way that we'll be able to serve and care for people with massive abundance, and the ability to set people free with that kind of abundance is really exciting to think about too. So we are going to be the Set Free region. I declared this a few months ago that we would be a region by September 30th, 2019. What that means is that we need to get in qualification this month. And I know that is absolutely a realistic goal. And what that means and how I envision it is all of you wonderful people and your teams that you represent, all of us kind of working together as one unit and working to get into qualification together in like whatever your next step is, and then working to then complete next month. And so that's the vision I have for this, is all of us coming together, locking arms, and we're all getting into qual this month and we're all finishing next month. And I know that there's some people who are working to finish this month too, but that's just kind of the idea of us marching ahead as one large team. And so, yeah, I just wanted you guys to know that that's just the heart behind this idea of the Set Free region, that we're just going to be a team on a mission setting people free. And I'm just becoming really bold about that mission, and sharing it with people. When I'm sharing the business and when I'm sharing this, I'm going, this is my heart and my mission behind the business. And so I just want you guys to know that. And yeah, I've been excited to share that with you. So I'm going to pass it on over to Missy, and she's going to take it away.
So I'm going to share. So some of you actually have not met yet. I don't know if I've ever seen you yet physically. So welcome to the team. Welcome to this much larger team that you're a part of. And I kind of want to give a little bit of a backstory to how this team got here, because it's an interesting story that has random relationships and connections, but it will show you the power of what this business does. And this is a business that you're building, honestly, for people you don't even know right now. I didn't know Mel until November of 2018. I started my business, for those of you that don't know, it will be 15 years next month. Okay, so she was she was in middle school when I started building my business. Gain some perspective on that. Like, there are people that you are building your business for, that you're paving the way for, and they're in middle school right now. They're in elementary school right now. They might be starting kindergarten next week, terrified. And what you're building today for yourself and your family is carving and creating a way and an opportunity for them when they get to be 18 to say yes to a lifestyle and an opportunity that they didn't know was possible. So how this team really came about, I do want to share a little bit of a background of that, because I do think it's important. Is 6-ish years ago, I was connected, 10 years ago, through one of my very, very dear friends who is like a sister to me, who has always been a supporter of Arbonne, a user of Arbonne, but not a business pursuer of Arbonne, connected me to a coworker. And that coworker of hers dabbled in and out of Arbonne several different times. And like you saw my post the other night, people will quit. You just don't quit on yourself, right? And she quit, no big deal. Like, you don't have any, you don't really get to have an opinion about that. So if you guys have any issues with like, oh, I don't want to invest in people because they're going to quit, the girl that you all actually got like how I actually found this team, the girl has quit. So I'm not upset with her, right? Because I wouldn't know any of you if she hadn't at one point started. So we don't get to get upset with people when they quit. So I think it was maybe her second or third time kind of go around on getting launched, and she was pumped and excited. She lived up in Minneapolis, and I said, I'll come up there. It's a good excuse to travel up there, see my family, and we'll do some events. And she said, I know exactly who I want to have host for me. It is the wife of a coworker, and he's awesome. And I don't really know his wife, but everything I've heard is she is awesome. So that's where Megan Rieken comes in for you all. So Megan Rieken was brave and kind enough 6 years ago to host an event for her husband's coworker. And had you ever met Amy before, Megan?
No, I have never met her. I had never met her before. But
Okay.
Michael just came home he just came home and said, hey, so Amy wants you to do an event and this Arbonne, and I told her you'd probably do it. So then I was like, sure, yeah, I can do it.
That was it. So so think about all the coworkers you have, male coworkers, and that their wives might one day be a host for you and become a powerhouse business partner for you. So we drove to her house. Amy was living in Minneapolis. Megan was in Mankato. It was a 90-minute drive. And we show up at the house, and Megan had gathered some great ladies, and we had an event. And I will be honest in saying it was an awesome event, but it was just very normal. It was just a normal Arbonne event. We shared the products. We shared the business. I thought Megan was adorable. Obviously, Michael, if you haven't met him before, he's super friendly. And I was like, oh, this couple's amazing. I just love to have them, in relationship with us and stuff. And so anyways, and we told Megan, we think you should do this business with us. And she had just had Jane. Jane was a baby. And she just really wasn't like totally sure. But she also, Megan is someone who is pretty quick, in my opinion, of her to just be willing to be brave and jump into stuff. And so she was like, yeah, okay, we'll do this. Like, yeah, okay, I'll host. Yeah, okay, I'll do this business. And so it has been just such a blessing over the last 6 years. Megan and I have built incredible friendship. I now have 4 girls. She has 3 girls. Our families love each other. And it is way beyond business relationship. And Megan has been faithful, you guys, to build this business and to build it while working full time, while having babies, and always praying for and knowing that there were going to be incredible people that came into her business. And one of those people showed up into her life last November in the form of Mel, your all's leader. And so I want you to know that the things that you guys are doing now, just like all the years that Megan stayed faithful and the 10 years before her that I stayed faithful, was to create a door and an opportunity for you all to say yes to this business. And I don't share that to shine any sort of light on Megan or I share that to give you all a little bit more of a vision of why we're asking you to step up, why we're asking you to elevate what you're doing, why we're asking you to believe for a little bit bigger, okay? Because there is a phrase that says, rising tides raises all ships. And going region, which is absolutely, this is not like a wish that Mel has, this is a committed goal. She is being brave and putting herself out there in front of you all as her team and saying, we're going region. And whether or not any of you decide to do this with her, she is going. And that is the commitment of a decided leader, is that they go whether or not they think they're ready, whether or not they feel like the team is ready. And so I want you to take that same attitude with your own business. If you're a consultant, I want you to set your sights on 10,000 this month and skip right through district. Okay. The reason is you can do district promotion and go right into area qual in 1 month. It's super efficient. Okay. And so set your sights on that. You might not feel ready. You might not feel like you have the team. You actually, in reality, might not have the team. But when you decide to step out, to declare things, and then to follow it up with action, things start to fall in place. But those things don't start to fall into place until you step out. And that's where a lot of people get stuck in this business is like they're waiting for the proof that they have the team ready, and then they're going to go for the big goal. And it actually is the opposite. This is a business that requires stepping out in faith and saying, I'm stepping out into things I can't yet see. I'm stepping out into believing for a business and a team I don't yet have. But I know that this is what I want. I know that this is what I'm called to, and this is not for my benefit only. And it's the same thing for Mel, because what will happen when you guys get into qual for region this month and then you complete region next month is it is going to raise all of your belief. Yes, Mel is the one getting the official promotion, but all of you will grow. All of your businesses will grow. All of your paychecks will grow. Okay. And what that does is it grows your belief and it more solidifies the proof. Because right now, yes, all of you can say, well, there's this girl, Missy, that we're connected to in Kentucky. I actually have never met her or seen her in person, but she has the white Mercedes, right? That doesn't maybe feel like for some of you like real legitimate proof. It's going to feel a whole lot different when you say, Mel, the girl that introduced me to Arbonne, the girl I've known since high school, the girl that used to be my babysitter, the girl that I go to church with, she did this. And she did this in the last 12 months. And so if she can do this, I know I can do this. And more importantly, you can do this, meaning the people that you're talking to. So it just brings that proof closer to home. And you can say, I can call Mel right now. She's probably in her car, or she can walk out of her house and show you a picture of her car. And it just brings that proof much closer to home, right? And so success also is going to breed success. If you all in your teams have the story of, I started my Arbonne business, in 4 months I went area to area manager, and by my year mark or less, I had the Mercedes. What do you think that's going to communicate to the people that you're sharing this with? Well, if that's the normal timeline, then that's the timeline I should be doing this in, or I could be doing this in, right? Versus, oh, I started my Arbonne business and 12 years later, I'm now a regional vice president. What's that going to communicate to the people that you're sponsoring? Like, oh gosh, it takes 12 years to get to being a region. No, it doesn't take 12 years. It can take actually 12 months or way less. So it will breed that success. So just know that this is a benefit for all of you. We are not asking you to be on this call this morning because we want you to get really excited for Mel. This actually has like nothing to do with Mel. Okay, like I'm actually kind of covering up her face on the thing because it has nothing to do with Mel. Mel needs to do what Mel's going to do, and what we want to do is we want you all to get a bigger vision of what you want to do, what you need to do, and what we are really wanting to rally you all to do in your businesses. And you all are so new, like literally when I'm like, oh my gosh, I've never seen that girl. I've never seen that girl. I've never met this person, you know, like that's how new you guys are. But that's such an exciting thing because you don't have this like, oh, I've been in Arbonne for, 3 years and I'm just a consultant. I'm still struggling. You don't have those stories. You don't have that baggage to kind of work through. You guys get the benefit of being a new team that's growing quickly. Okay, so kind of like I said at the beginning, there are some things that I want to really help you kind of get a bigger vision on and really get maybe even clearer than you are on right now. And the first thing that I want you to get clear on is, why are you doing this business? Why are you doing it? Why did you say yes? Like really, why? And there is a phrase that says you want to find a why that makes you cry. And I have always thought like, yeah, I love that. But what I like even more is you got to find a why that's going to make you work. So what is a why that is going to make you go do the things you don't want to do when you don't feel like doing them, when you have to make sacrifices, when you have to tell your friends, no, I can't come to the movie tonight because I've actually committed to my Arbonne business this month and I'm making those sacrifices and I'm making those exchanges. What is that why? And it has to be specific. It can't be, I just want more money or I just want more time. Well, what do you want the time for? What do you want the money for? What is it specifically going to go for? And I'm going to recommend that you dig through the why that makes you work until it makes you cry. Crying not in a boo-hoo kind of way, but crying to a place where you're emotionally connected to that why, so that when you on any given day say, I'm not going to do my business today, you're emotionally connected and you're saying actually no to the very thing that you want to be doing. Meaning for me, for years, this why was totally wrapped around my kiddos. And so when it got hard and I didn't want to pick up the phone or I didn't want to reach out to that person and I was like, I'm going to procrastinate, I'm going to avoid, and I'm going to push this off. It was literally like me gathering my 4 girls and telling them, you're not worth it. I'm sorry. You're just not worth it for me to get uncomfortable. You're not worth it for me to push past the fear. You're not worth it for me to really get up a little bit early or stay up a little bit late or prioritize my time or say no to this so I can say yes to this. I'm sorry, girls. Like, I know I love you, but you're not worth it. And I couldn't do that, right? So those were the things that held my feet to the fire. So you got to get really clear on what those things are that are going to hold your feet to the fire and identify what is driving you. Some of you are being totally driven because you just have a heart to help people. You're like helper extraordinaire. It's like you want to help the animals, you want to help the planet, you want to help the people, you want to just help all the things. You are motivated and driven by being a helper, and your primary drive in life is relationship. And that's awesome because we all love those people and we need those people, and those people are awesome people. Some of you are going to be driven and you've said yes to this business because it's new and it's exciting and there's friendship involved and there's adventure involved and there's travel involved and there's like this kind of party option that you can be a part of. And some of you, that's what's the driving force. And there's nothing wrong with any of these, but you just have to know what is it that's going to motivate you so you can keep staying motivated, right? Some of you, you might be driven by the money. You might be driven by the accomplishment, by the achievement, by that sense of like, I'm not going to let that heifer outpace me. If that girl can do that, I can do that. If she can get a car, by God, I can get a car. Like that is maybe as ugly as it is, that was me. I'm like, there is no way all of these women are getting this car and being successful and I can't figure this out. There just was no way I was going to live the rest of my life knowing this was an option hundreds and thousands of people had done this, and I was going to be like, yeah, I couldn't do it. No way. There was just no way. So you have to identify what drives you. And then there's going to be some of you, and none of those things drive you, and you're just really driven by this idea that you could create something that's really stable, something that you own, something that is like there's been proof over time, and you might be a little slower to get out of the gate, but once you're there, you're committed, right? And so you just have to identify like what are those things, what drives you, and then that will most often lead to what are you doing this for? Why are you doing this? And if you don't have something really clear that you're doing this for, you've got to do that, you guys. And you got to dig in and then dig a little deeper and dig a little deeper. And many times the digging starts to just reveal to us that we have accepted life in many ways as less than. And there's nothing necessarily wrong with that, but we as Americans, I think a lot of times have bought into this lie of, well, if I have, a nice place to live and I have an okay job and I have a vehicle and we have okay finances, then I just need to be content. And contentment has nothing to do with our pursuing of our dreams. Contentment is a heart issue. Contentment is I'm going to be content with what I have right now, but it's not stopping me from pursuing them more. And we pursue them more because other people need our more. Other people need your extra. Other people need you to show up and step up and be bigger than everybody else around them because they need you to fund the backpacks that all need to get funded right now. I mean, if you go to church, if you're in a school community, if you're in a community, there are hundreds and thousands of kids in the U.S. right now that need a backpack full of school supplies, and money needs to come to fund those. And if you right now, you don't have $75 to go buy 2 backpacks and fill them up with supplies and backpacks for these kids, then just start with simple things like that. That extra is what needs to be given and earned in order to give it away. Okay, so you are building something that's bigger than you can't even see right now. And I'm going to ask you to get brave and bold on believing for bigger than maybe you've ever thought of. Believe for a debt-free lifestyle. Believe for a paid-off house by the time you're 30. Believe for being able to give your parents a paid-for vacation for their 40th wedding anniversary because you just love them. Be willing to believe for the fact that you could cash fund your kids' college or your kids' weddings. Between Megan and I and Mel, we got 9 girls. We got a lot of weddings we're going to pay for in the next 2 decades, right? So you need to start thinking bigger and believing for bigger, and it's going to set you apart from probably most people you're currently surrounding yourself with. And that's why it's so important that you really decide who are the 5 people I'm going to surround myself with. Because those people most often will determine what you expect in life and your goals in life and your gauge in life and your pursuit of this life. And you guys, we only get one life and we are not promised tomorrow. If you didn't watch it, there is a gal on the team and she posted a little video from Rachel Hollis yesterday, and I thought it was awesome. And Rachel just talks about how someday is a lie, and we are not promised someday. We're not promised the rest of this year. I can't guarantee that. There's no guarantee that any of us are going to see New Year's 2019. There's just not, right? And I don't say that to have us live in fear. I say that to maximize what we are given, and all we are given is right now. So if you want the different things, it has to start right now. It doesn't start tomorrow. It doesn't start next week. It doesn't start next month. It starts today. Okay? So you got to be brave and bold in that, because one day, here's part of the vision I want you to catch, and then we're going to wrap this up. One day, you guys, you are going to have a room full of people that, like I said at the beginning, you don't yet know them. I didn't know Melanie. I didn't know Megan 15 years ago when I started. I didn't know any of you before 2019. But you will have that exact same experience in your business, and people will stand up when you stay in this business long enough, and they will say, thank you, because you didn't quit. because you didn't quit, Erin, because Debbie, you didn't quit when it got hard, because Kat, you didn't quit when it got hard, I got to quit my job and be home with my kids. Danielle, because you didn't quit, I got to help my husband relieve some of the financial burden. Meg, because you didn't quit, we got to take our kids to Disney World when we had been promising them that for 10 years and we had no financial plan to do that. Evie, because you didn't quit, I got to spend time with my grandma and not have to worry about time off from work when she was dying, because you didn't quit in your Arbonne business. That's what this business is all about, you guys, is you staying the course and you doing this, not only for yourself, but for the hundreds, like Mel said, and the thousands of people that are going to come behind you. So I want to just give you guys the last thing, a call to action. Because we can talk about vision, we can talk about we're going region, woo, all these things. But then what it's going to come down to and what's going to separate you all, because you all really are a team that has declared, you have decided, you are committed to going region. What's going to separate you from anything else is consistently being consistent. There is nothing that will kill momentum more than inconsistency, and there's nothing that will drive momentum in your business more than consistency. Consistently consistent, meaning you do it when you don't feel like doing it. You do it when you have no time in your day to do it. You do it when you don't know who you're going to reach out to. You do it when you've gotten a bad no. You do it when you got a great yes, and you do it again and again and again and again. Because being consistently consistent is what continues to plant these seeds. And then over time, it's going to give you all this harvest that you can't even see yet. Okay, so what does consistently being consistent look like? It looks like getting rid of your excuses, like all of them. Because your excuses and your goals cannot exist at the same time in your life. So if your excuses are, it's the end of summer, we're on vacation, whatever, I don't know who to ask, I'm so busy with my job, whatever the excuses are, we all have them. You know, they are there. But whenever you buy into the excuse or justify the excuse or give way to the excuse, you just have to know you're saying no to the goal. So if you don't want to say no to the goal, then you got to say no to the excuse and figure out and find a way and go do that next right thing. Okay. And so I want you guys to raise the bar on what you expect from yourself, on what you're going to commit to from yourself. And you don't gauge it on what anybody else is doing. You gauge it on what you know is giving your very best. Some of you, your very best is going to be getting like anxiety-ridden, uncomfortable, and you're going to reach out to 3 people a day. Some of you, your very best is you can reach out to 40 people a day. You know what that is. But just because somebody's reaching out to 3 people, but you have the capacity to reach out to 40 people, you don't lower your 40 to that 30. Okay, so you give your very best, whatever that looks like. So today what I'm going to ask you guys to do is, if you haven't watched the video by Unique Dean that I posted the first day of the month, I'm going to ask you to go back and watch that. It's about 20 minutes, super short. She talks about being consistently consistent. And then she talks about implementing that with 1 power hour a day. I don't know if you are going to decide to commit to 1 power hour a day for the next 30 days, but what I am going to ask you to do is today, carve out 1 hour of time. 1 hour of time. You can do that in 2 30-minute blocks. You can do that in 3 20-minute blocks. You can do that in 4 15-minute blocks, or you can just camp out for 1 hour and you're reaching out and asking people to host for you. Because hosting, you guys, is a natural way to expand and build your network and get in front of strangers. And strangers is where you're going to build the largest Arbonne business. It just is. You're going to follow up with people. You're going to invite people to be part of 30 Days to Healthy Living. You're going to ask people to do an overview to hear a little bit more about this business. You're going to follow up and see who needs to reorder. Whatever you need to do in your business, you're going to spend 1 committed hour today and commit that time. And that's what I'm asking you to do as a call to action today, because we can be hearers of the word, hearers of this word, and so deceive ourselves if we don't implement it into action. I know people who become like literally knowledge obese in Arbonne. Like they listen to all the trainings, they go to all the events, they could regurgitate all the phrases and they don't move their business forward because they don't implement and act on what they know. So I don't want you to become obese in knowledge. I want you to hear something and then execute it and put it into action and start putting it into practice. So that's my call to action this morning. And then the last thing that we're going to say, because we are running out of time, is I want you to start thinking about, when are you going region? And today I want you to write it down. What's your region date? And it needs to be within less than 24 months. You can't tell me in 5 years I'm going to be a region. No way. It's not possible. We're not going to let you hang out for that long. We'll love you if you hang out for that long, but that's not loving you to let you hang out there that long. Do you want to be there in 5 months? You can be there. Do you want to be there before GTC next spring? You can be there. Do you want to be there by Christmas of 2020? Because that's a significant time for you. You can be there. But I want you right now, and even if you're like, Missy, do you know I'm a consultant? Do you know I signed up 4 days ago and I haven't made a sale yet? Yes, I don't really care. I want you to write down when are you going to be there? Because if you don't start making some action steps, some plans towards that, you're just going to wander in circles, okay? So I want you to write it down on a piece of paper, take a picture of it, and text it to Mel. This is not a hard thing. Like, I'm going to be a region, and you pick a date. Just put a date down. Like, don't overthink it. Put a date down that you are going to commit to, and you're going to set that, and that's what your intention and your vision and your goals are going to be moving you towards. Okay? So I love you all so much. Mel, is there anything else you want me to share before we hop off?
That's it. Thank you so much, Missy, for being here.
You are welcome. Love you guys so much. You're going to do this. I just know it. And here's the thing. I will say, I don't have any favorites in my Arbonne team, but I am pretty partial to my North Dakota girls. So it's time for, they say it's time for the South to rise. I think it's time for the North to rise a little bit. There needs to be more representation of Arbonne in the northern half of the country, particularly North Dakota and Minnesota. So I don't think it was by chance that I picked this mug this morning. So let the North rise. It's time. It's time. All right. Love you guys so much. Have a great rest of your day.